What is up, everybody? Mike here from Kapowcast with a very, very special review. As you can see, today we're going to be taking a look at the Hot Toys Avengers Infinity War Thanos figure. I actually did have this figure on pre-order. I canceled it when they announced the armored version. We'll see, I guess, if I regret this. This is actually Tony's figure that we're going to be taking a look at. But, oh god, just the package alone, that is a work of art right there. Just, oh, so amazing. So we'll see if I regret doing this or not. I am slightly concerned that with the armored version, that they're gonna, even though the pictures show him coming with a regular gauntlet, that they might change it and he might have the nano gauntlet, which I'll be super bummed about because I just thought that the armored version was the Thanos I wanted originally when they first, started announcing this. But anyway, so take a quick look at the package here. We got Thanos in the front. As I said, beautiful art. I'm going to actually have to stand up here. Oh! Wraps around to the side, Thanos. 1/6 scale figure. Bunch of warnings and stuff on the back. Thanos again here on the side with the Infinity Gauntlet. If we do a quick zoom. Looking very nice. Not much on the top. Oh. Look, just says Thanos, and fairly certain it's the same thing on the bottom. This is very heavy. And then you slip cover, you take that off, and there you have the Mad Titan in all his glory, with all his accessories and all his who's-its and what's-its. But we're going to get this guy open, and we're going to see if I have regrets or not. Stay tuned. Alright, so Thanos does not come with a ton in the way of accessories, but I mean, honestly, what does he really need? So first things first, you get this display stand. So you get a clear thing, and it's the Gooch cradle right there. So Thanos goes like that. We have knock the camera even. Sorry, this is my first time doing a hot toy, and it's very different than doing any kind of Marvel Legends. But you get a display stand. There's Thanos, and you have this here, and you can switch this out. If you want this one, you can go with this one or this one. This one will kind of go in with the backdrop if you want that. So I think this would be good for the backdrop. And the other one is good for just your standard DTOF. But you just plug it in there, and you got your display stand. So we'll set that right there. We'll keep that there for now. We got this kind of open hand. Let's see if we can get... Oh my god. So that's one thing that Hot Toys does really great. If you notice on their skin tones, they do this speckling, which makes it just... I think that's the key. That's what makes it look so lifelike. And you even got like the fingernails. Oh my god. That's so sick. It's so great. And then we got a fist hand for when he's beating them Avengers. Focus. Same thing, like the speckling. Oh my. It just looks so good. We also get an extra arm. So this is really cool because he's made out of kind of like a rubbery material, and a lot of people I think are going to want him with his arm kind of bent like this. So this prevents any kind of damage or anything happening. And you got the Infinity Gauntlet there with the Infinity Stones. Very awesome. I know he lights up. So we're gonna pop that off. So there's the light. The light will shine through there, and it'll shine through the gauntlet. Heed my warning. I will say this. One thing to keep in mind with Hot Toys and their batteries, especially if you're going to keep something like that in there, is the batteries do have a tendency to leak over time. So I would not recommend keeping the batteries in there over lengthy periods of time. Just friendly word of advice. But this looks really good. Like, if you just look at the detail on the gauntlet, it looks like it's straight out of the movie. Same thing with the arm, though. You got all that speckling and the detail lines carved in there. Got even veins with the musculature. Oh, so good. Just, Hot Toys never ceases to amaze. Set that over there. And last but not least, well, not last, but we also have this Thanos head. It can also be, I guess it could technically be your endgame Thanos if you want. But looks really good if you want your super mean, pissed off Thanos. Like, look at the eyes. And that's another thing that I think really sets Hot Toys apart from the other people. A lot of the third parties in that is the eyes. Like, and it's the same thing if you're ever drawing. They always say, like, if you're doing a drawing of somebody and you want to really capture their likeness, you need to nail the eyes. If you miss the eyes, you're not going to get the likeness at all. You've already screwed up. So it's all in the eyes, kids. And last but not least, we have this display stand here, this backdrop, if you will, which folds out. And so you basically do that, and you get your display stand. Push this back here, and that's pretty much what the display stand will look like, all completed. It's so big, like I can't fit it all in the shot, but it's impressive and it's nice. I do dig it. One thing to also add is this guy lights up. So what you got to do is there's a little tab back here that you got to kind of get your nail in. You peel that off and there's the switch. Flip that guy on. Put that back. And blam. Oh, that looks so awesome. Let me see if I can shut the lights off and we get a real good look at how it looks. And there you have it with the lights off. Oh my god, that's really bright. And here's the Mad Titan out of his package looking ever so awesome. He's on the display stand too. So as you can see, this is going to take up a considerable amount of space in any DTOF. But if we go up, you can see that it even comes up past his head. So it's very big, very, very big. I'm actually going to take that off. Let's take him off the stand, get rid of the background, while we actually take a look at the figure. All right, and so here's Thanos off his stand, still looking pretty imposing. Let's take a closer look at this guy, because you definitely want to take a closer look to just appreciate all the details that are done in him. Like, you can look at all the scarring and the lines on his face. His nutsack chin. The tailoring on the costume is super nice. This is good. It's kind of soft, but, you know, you won't get much movement out of it, but that's all right. Pants. The boots. Looking really good. I'm really digging all the gold paint on here. Just, makes it look so good. That beefy back. Thanos butt flap. This is like a stiffer material, so it's not going to crease or get wrecked on you, so you don't need to worry about that. Back of the pants, the boots. The gauntlet looks just as good as the one on the other arm. Just so mighty. Again, it's kind of like a Thanos Sasquatch pose. Crazy. And you can change out a lot of the parts. So the first thing you can change out is the head. And let's try. Oh, that was actually a lot easier than I thought. See if you can stand. And there you got your angry Thanos. He does not want to stand. There you have your angry Thanos head. And I just bumped the camera, sorry about that. But that is not all. You also get all these hands, so let's okay, let's go with this one. How about that? So you just give it a little wiggle, a little tug. There you go. Same thing, you just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And it should be on there good. A lot of times with Hot Toys, I have a hard time interchanging the hands. Sometimes I think they're on, but they're not on. And the next thing I know, they fall off when I'm messing around with them. So you actually have a couple different options for this arm here. So one of the things you can do is you could pop this hand off. There you go. So you can pop that one off. Then you can pop this one off. And you can basically just kind of mix and match whatever you want. So if you want him with a more relaxed arm, but with his mighty gauntlet fist, you can do that. Still looks pretty good. I feel like there's few things you can do with the figure that will actually make it look bad, that won't be impressive. What else can we can? So obviously you can pull this arm off. I might have to. Okay. It's scary doing this stuff, especially when it's not your figure. This is very frightening and very horrible for me. I just want you all to know it. So you can just place. Just give it a good. Hang on. There you go. Does make a little snap. Then we can put that one on there. Oh, wait, nope. It's like you just gotta apply the right amount of pressure. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Perfect. And then you have more with an open hand and... But if I had to take a guess, my guess... That's a horrible sound, isn't it? Ugh. Is the display that people will go with is going to be this. I feel like that's the route that most people are going to be going. And to really, if you really want to, amp it up, make it pop, if you will, you just come around here, pull off that little tab, flip the lights, put that back, and yes. Oh, it's so awesome. So great. And just so I cover everything, he does come with enough batteries that you can put batteries in this arm and in this arm. So you don't gotta switch them back and forth if you want the lights in this one or if you want the lights in this one. But, as I said, the batteries have a history of leaking. So leaving these in, I'm not sure if that's something you're gonna wanna do. But regardless, what I would do is I would put the batteries in, take your pictures, or do what you will, take him out. Because it's not like you're going to be displaying him all the time with the lights on. Because these don't last long at all. It'll burn out. So my advice, take your pictures, your videos, do whatever. Take the batteries out and put them in anytime you want. That way you don't risk anything leaking or anything like that. All right, so since this isn't my figure and these are very expensive figures, I'm going to get a little bit into the articulation, but I'm not going to like get too hard-handed with it. I'm just going to kind of go over a little bit what he can do. But my recommendation is always read your Hot Toys instructions. It tells you what you can do, what you can't do. Be careful when turning the head. You don't want to run into these gold parts and stuff like that. Okay, so speaking of, his head does turn, but you just want to be careful turning it that you don't hit these parts on his collar. You don't want any paint rub or chipping or anything like that. His arms, ratchet joints, so they go out about that far, which you gotta love the ratchet joints. He has that in the legs too. So they go out about that far. They go down about that much. And you can go around. But once again, I'm not gonna do it all the way around because I don't want any rubbage right there. He does have a bend at the elbow. Don't want to keep it like that. Don't want that rubber to crack or anything like that. He does have a bend at the knee. His legs can go up about that far. Can go back about that much. He has a swivel in the thigh. He doesn't really have nothing here. Like, I'm sure there might be something, but the vest is going to hinder that. And he has some slight ankle movement, though I can't really get it to move. And I'm not going to force it. Like I said, it's not my figure, so I don't want to risk breaking anything. Sorry, I bumped the camera again. I don't want to risk anything like that. He does have, on this hand, he does have finger articulation. So you can kind of mess with that. You can get some more gesturing type things or more expressive. Let's be honest, that's the first thing anybody's going to do is that. But so that's cool. You got to love and he also has a swivel here with the glove, and he has a swivel here in his arm at the wrist. So, it's good enough, I think, articulation wise. It's good enough to get what you need to get. You're not going to have him doing really any super dynamic poses, I don't think. Kind of, you're going to have him doing those really imposing poses, which does not require a whole lot. So I don't have a lot of the Infinity War Hot Toys, but I do have other Hot Toys. But the most relatable one I think that I have is Ragnarok Loki here and Thanos. And you can see just how much more imposing he is. And I think this is a great scale. I think it works fantastic. And here he stands next to the Spider-Man Homecoming Spider-Man. I know technically not an Infinity War thing, and he didn't really meet him in this suit, but the suit was in there for a moment, so that has to count for something. And here he is next to another one of his many victims. Poor old Vision. Is it me, or does Vision need like a more muscular body? I don't know. He looks a little big in the hip area. And one of my favorite fights in all of Infinity War, Thanos and Doctor Strange. Oh my god. Oh, these look fantastic. Yeah, that Doctor Strange is still one of my favorite Hot Toys. And the cool thing is if you have this one, you can still display him with your Infinity War Thanos. There's really no change in him except for the hair. That's about it. And oh boy, I'm sure this is what everybody wanted to see. Here's Thanos with the Avengers Age of Ultron Hulk. I mean, Thanos is a big figure, and Hulk just still towers over him. I still love that Hulk figure. But seeing these two together, once again, just just nerdgasm all the way. So I'm sure a lot of people might be wondering too, can you fit Thanos in a DTOF? And the answer is yes and no. Here he is in mine, and as you can see, his head does not clear. But if you get him in more of a crouching pose, it's doable, but you won't be able to use his stand, and that display backdrop is just too big. It's appreciated, but that's something that I would probably tuck away in the box and never look at again. But he can fit in the DTOF, just probably without the display stand and the backdrop. All right, and there you have it. That is the Thanos Hot Toys figure. Great figure. Fantastic figure. Do I have some gripes? Yeah. Like, I wish the ankles here could be a little bit more posable. There's not a lot of pivot or anything in them, so getting him to stand can be a bit of a chore. And since he's such a beefy, heavy figure, you kind of want those ankles to really lock. But maybe that's why they don't have as much articulation as we would hope they would. But other than that, there's really not much to complain about with this guy. Yeah, the backdrop's a little much. It's still cool, but it's a little much. The display stand's a little high. Sometimes I wish they would include something smaller, because I think this guy could use a display stand. So putting him in the DTOF without the stand, it's kind of like a at your own risk sort of ordeal. But I love that the parts are super easy to change out. Really nervous doing it, but they're actually really easy. And that is one of my biggest pet peeves, is if you have a figure that has all these interchangeable parts and it becomes a chore to do it. Because then you just kind of find your pose and you stick with it. You don't go back into the box because it is such a chore to change certain parts. But this guy, everything was really easy. The head popped off easy. The hands, the arm, not easy to a point where it's going to fall off. It's just simple and easy to do. This figure gets 2 solid thumbs up for me. Woo, I love it. The question is now, do I have regrets canceling it? Yes and no. Part of me is like, oh man, I wish I had this right now. I wish it was mine. But at the same time, I know I got that armored one coming, and that was the look I really wanted it for Thanos with Infinity War. I just hope that they keep the gauntlet off. I don't care if it's not movie accurate, or don't take the gauntlet off. I don't care if it's not movie accurate. I don't want the nano gauntlet on the one. I just want that. I just want that is like my perfect Thanos would be the armor with the gauntlet, and it's perfect. If you like this review, go ahead and click like, please. It helps this video a lot. Click subscribe and be sure to hit the bell notification so you get notified whenever we put up new toy reviews or toy hunt videos or new episodes of Kapowcast, our weekly podcast covering movies, comics, whatever is all the rage in pop culture. Until next time, I'm Mike. Take care.